Welcome, Wildcat Nation. I'm your host, Cameron Prentier, bringing you the 22nd episode of PodCats. Joining us today is the head coach of the women's soccer team here at Culver Stockton College, Coach Tyler Tomlinson. Thank you for joining us, Coach.
Thanks for having me.
This is your 10th season. Are you nervous about the risk of COVID at all?
Man, coming out with a hard-hitting question. Yeah, of course I'm nervous. I think everyone should be, and I think that's an okay, normal feeling to have. I think our girls have navigated the situation very well. We understand the responsibility that we bear, not only to like the rest of athletics at our college and winter and spring athletics, but we also feel responsibility to do our best for the schools that aren't playing in the nation and for all the teams that don't get the opportunity. So we consider ourselves lucky. We're not taking it for granted, and we want to make sure that we're doing our best and all that's in our control to be able to play games this year.
Right. So with tomorrow being your first conference game against William Penn University, what are your expectations going into this game? Because I saw last season that you guys went 2-0 with them. So do you think you'll have the same outcome?
Well, it's a good question. First of all, they're a different team now than last year, and so are we. They have a new coach that's come in and, from the looks of it, has done a pretty nice job implementing his style of play with their team. Our confidence level is pretty high, but in the same sense, we haven't played any regular season games. They've played 2 regular season games, so they bring in an experience aspect with this particular group of players that we don't necessarily bring. So that doesn't mean that we'll approach the game any differently. That doesn't mean that, we're making any excuses. But we just want to kind of get on the field and see how we match up against another team, be able to play a game. It stinks kind of that it's, a conference game that is a competitive game for us, that we have to go out there and kind of learn a lot about ourselves in the process. But that's just kind of the part of this whole COVID situation, really.
Right. With having a team that's different years, because I looked at your guys' roster and you're pretty evenly matched with all the different years. So how do you think this will benefit you guys, especially with having to teach those new freshmen the ropes?
Yeah, I think for us, we do have a good balance of players on the field. It's not just going to be seniors that play, and thankfully it won't just be freshmen that are playing as well. But we have a good mix, and that, to me, they're in the right places. We started a senior goalkeeper in Courtney Krogan. Courtney got a little experience last year, so this will be her first full year as our starting goalie. But then in front of her, Kendall Pritchett's played a ton of games. She's a senior. Crystal Diaz has started a ton of games. She's a senior. Julianne Baltimore, she's started a ton of games. She's a senior. Micah Bangy has started a ton of games. She's a senior. So that experience on the back line, we're hoping proves to really help us out, especially to get going. When maybe we're not scoring some goals right out of the gate, how does our defense look? Where our defense has a lot of experience, a lot of game experience. And then Rachel Jacobellis is mixing in there. She's younger. So she's a sophomore, and so she's kind of still in that learning process. But, yeah, we have a couple freshmen we expect to start for the first game, and they're both at the forward position with Sierra Schlemmer and Bella Ronda. Both quite different players. Belle's got a lot of speed, and Sierra on her side's tall, strong, physical, kind of a different type of athlete. So, yeah, I know we have seniors, we have freshmen, and then we have everybody in between. That you're right, it's a good mix for us.
Awesome. So your next game I also saw was September 19th, so this upcoming Friday at Park University. So what are your thoughts basically on going away from home? Because you guys are going to be basically one of the first teams officially playing a game at another school since this COVID.
Yeah, it's interesting. So we've been going through a lot of our protocols and what we're supposed to do. I had a brief meeting yesterday with our athletic trainer to kind of walk us through what we're supposed to do. Um, and so, yeah, I think right now our plan is to leave Friday um, and head to Park and stay overnight in a hotel. So once again, first team that's going to be doing something like that. But for us, we're taking all the precautions. We are following a lot of the protocols of where we wear masks, which is on the bus there and back, in our hotel, things like that. So once we get there, we'll have to be screened by Park University Athletic Training before we go. And then we've never played there either. So I've been coaching for 10 years. Like you mentioned, I've never played at Park. And they're new to our conference. So there's a lot of things like logistically that I guess I'll be working out as a coach as well. So it'll be an experience, and whatever we can learn to help other teams at Culver, or pick up any information that we can pick up about how road trips are going to work, and maybe some suggestions, we'll be happy to pass those along. But ultimately, when it comes down to it, our focus is going to be on the game and making sure that we play our best.
All right, well, good answer. What do you think will be most important on tackling the game tomorrow against William Penn?
We're just sticking to our game plan, and not having players, go rogue or try to do their own thing, but realize that we've had extra time to train that we normally wouldn't have this preseason. So for us, we're pretty comfortable with our style of play now. And we've implemented very well against ourselves in training. So just making sure that we stick to the plan. And ultimately, the plan for us is to keep the ball, defend well, and create some scoring opportunities. So it's pretty simple. And I think as long as we, trust each other, that we know what we're doing, and trust ourselves in any situation to make the right decision, we'll be fine. But we know William Penn's a good team. They played a couple good games already this year, and we know that we have to give them our best.
Well, those are all the questions I have for today. But I'm your host, Cameron Prenter, and thank you for joining us, and thank you for answering all the questions I had.
No problem.
Thank you.